Hello everyone and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are currently at London's Gatwick Airport doing number 3 of our longest flights from our hub airports in England. Today the longest flight you can do from Gatwick is to the Black Sea resort of Sochi in Russia. And that's where we're headed. It is more than 4 hours to get there. So it's going to be a long flight. It's currently about almost 1:30 in the afternoon. So we'll be landing there probably in the dark. But it should be a good flight. So we'll see what happens. Let's hop on board and get everything up and running. Alright, we're on board the aircraft, which is once again the A320neo. So the parking brake is set, chocks have been removed, ground power is connected, throttle levers are at idle, engine master is confirmed in the normal position. Batteries are on and showing a good charge, generator switches are all on. External power is activated. Adheres are on. We'll bring up the brightnesses on the panels. There we go. ECAM. Lower panel and overhead, and we're also going to come down and do the FMC. There we go. Nav lights are on, pen lights are set, gear lever is checked down, flaps retracted, spoiler retracted, fuel quantity is checked, seatbelt signs are on, no smoking signs are on, and everyone can start boarding. So we'll go up and tell them to do bags, do catering, do fuel, so everyone can get moving in the back. We'll run down the panel, make sure everything is set. Good, that's faulted because there's no power to it. Crew supply oxygen will come on, and we'll get some air moving in the back for everybody. There we go. So weather check, weather's fairly good. A little bit of overcast over the Black Sea, high level overcast, light winds, and it's a pretty nice day out here. And no significant weather that I've seen so far on the route over. And de-ice we're not going to need. We have our clearance, so we are good to go with that. Transponder 7000 is on standby. And that is where we're going to sit. So let's get down and start setting up in the McDo here. Database is good. And secondary database is good as well as backup. Initialization, we are flying from EGKK, which is Gatwick, to URSS, which is Sochi in Russia. Our alternate is, just pull it up here, URKK. Not sure where that is, but it is available if I gotta pull it up in my bag. And our flight number today is FL410. Cost index, as always, is 2025. And our cruise altitude for today's flight is 33,000 feet. So that would be 330 on the flight level. For our performance page, we'll come over to flaps 1, so we'll redo our V speeds. We're heavy today. We're about 80% 85% passenger load, and a lot of baggage. So we're V1 of 155, VR of 161, and a V2 of 162. Transition altitude 10,000 feet. Oh, sounds like they finished with the bags. 1695 is our thrust reduction altitude, and our engine out. Acceleration altitude is 1680. Go to the flight plan. We are planning our departure on runway 26 left using the DVR 1M departure, and we are planning our arrival on runway 06. We'll check the weather as we get closer and see if that has to change. You can see pretty good distance we are flying today. Go over to plan mode, and we step through our flight plan. We're going to take off, circle to the north, head across England, out over the channel, and it's kind of straight line all the way there. As we bounce down and through, looking good. And this is a bit of a mess, but basically we're going to fly past and then circle around and then come in for the landing on runway 06. We'll see how that goes again as we get closer and how that's looking. Alright, so you are going to go to 33. So the catering is done as well. Set you to 40. And we'll retake our seat. Edelweiss beside us from Germany. There we go. So our current, what we are using today, we have Rex WeatherForce up and running, providing us with the weather. Alright, so our QNH for today is currently 3053. Dial that in. And we're going to confirm the airport elevation on the charts. I want to make sure. Yeah, that's what I thought. The airport elevation is actually 203 feet. So that is not the QNH. This is providing it to me in I gotta remember I should be switching that around. 85 fuel. Yeah, we're good. Thank you, fuel truck. You do your thing. Bring this back to 5.3. Still says 800 feet, which is still high. If I do this, what will it take me to? Alright, so the pressure is not correct. 3992. If I check what the actual MEDAR coming out of here is, the London Gatwick. I think it's 1034. I'll go down here and dial in 1034. Okay, so WeatherForce has given me the correct information. The sim is not. So I'm not sure how to play with that. But there we have it. We're going to have to go with that and use the fake it sim button, because if we don't, our altimeters are going to be right out of whack. We're 1 minute to go, so we'll get the APU up and running. Changed over to the APU page. APU start, beacon on. So we're tuned in now. We have our heading. We have our nav system is up and running. So we are good there. Looks like everybody is on board, so we can get the door closed and start getting ready for our pushback. Alright, so the APU is started. The APU will come on in a minute. APU generators are already on, so we're good there. So thrust levers are at neutral. Fuel pumps will come on, and we can request our push. Here comes the truck. So we're going to go tail to the left when you're facing the aircraft, so our left, the way we're facing right now. Then we'll push back to the taxiway. And get ready to go. So we're waiting for the nudge. Doors are all confirmed as locked. As soon as he gives us the nudge, there we go. Parking brake is off. Ignition and engine start on 1. A little bit of movement here today. Edelweiss is Swiss? Oh, I thought it was... Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking it was Southern Germany, but that's fine. United over there, generic. There's probably a Frontier around here somewhere. There usually is. There's a lot of Frontier liveries inside the sim. Well, we left it a little too late, but that's fine. And you can stop us there. And what have I missed? Because the engine's not spooling up.
We're now going to explain the emergency procedures on this British Airways aircraft. The captain and the crew are here for your safety.
That would help.
It is important that you pay attention.
Bleed from the APU to spin the engine.
First, check your seatbelt is securely fastened.
There we go. I can
Insert
hear it now.
the metal tag into the buckle and tighten by pulling on the loose end. To unfasten, simply lift up the metal flap on the buckle and pull apart. You'll find the seatbelt sign in the panel above your head. When it's on, you must fasten your seatbelt. We'll provide extension seatbelts for infants.
So as I mentioned, the pressure might not be correct for the area.
Jacket is either beside or underneath your seat.
Given what the sim is doing, but
pass the tapes around your waist and tie them securely.
The weather is correct.
Your side. Inflate your life jacket
Few clouds.
the aircraft.
Nice
We will
afternoon.
supply life cots for babies and life
It's
jackets
not
for
terribly
children.
warm. It's only
In the unlikely event
51
of the
degrees
aircraft having
Fahrenheit.
to make an emergency landing, you'll be
So
told
definitely
to take
jacket
this
weather.
protective brace position. But when seated facing rearwards in Club World, you must adopt this position. We will
Alright,
now
engine
explain
1
how
is
to leave the
stable,
aircraft
and we'll
in
now
an
start
emergency.
engine 2.
Move quickly to the closest usable exit, taking nothing with you. High-heeled shoes must be taken off as they may tear the evacuation slide. Emergency lighting, including floor-level lighting, will help you find your way to the exits. These are clearly signed. There are two
Into
exits
20%,
at the rear of
fuel
the
should start
aircraft
flowing. There we
and two
go.
at the front of each cabin section. Your crew will now
N1 is
point out the
increasing as
exits
N2
nearest to you.
increases. If we come down here, you can see the
To
oil
open the
pressure
doors,
starting to
move
build.
the handle
Oil
in the
temperature
direction
is
of the
rising.
arrow. Opening the doors automatically
EGT is coming
inflates
up.
the
We
evacuation
have
slides.
ignition.
The slides can also be inflated by pulling this handle. Jump onto the slide and move away from the aircraft. If the
Temperature
aircraft
peak.
has landed on water,
Temperature's
these
coming
slides
down.
detach to form rafts.
N1 is coming up.
As you leave
N2
the
is
aircraft,
coming up.
inflate your life jacket by
Fuel
pulling the
flow
red
is
tag.
steady.
If necessary, blow into this mouthpiece to top up the air.
All generator
The life
switches
jacket
are
is fitted with a
on.
light and a whistle.
Fuel flow confirmed. All
Your oxygen
hydraulics
mask is
are
behind the
on.
panel just above your head.
APU will
If
now
the
come
cabin air
off.
system should fail, this
And
will
the
be
mode
released.
selector will go back
Stay in your
to
seat and pull the mask towards you
normal.
to open your supply. Please note that the bag does not
So
inflate.
before taxi,
Place it over your mouth
back
and
to
nose.
here,
and
probes,
adjust the
window
band to
heats come
secure
on.
it. Then breathe in.
altimeters
Do make sure
29902.
your own mask is correctly
Checked and
fitted
cross-checked.
before helping anyone else. In some areas, you release the mask
Standby
by pulling on this
instruments.
coloured streamer. If you're in a Club World sleeper seat, you
Checked.
may need to reach through the dividing
Radios and
screen to
avionics
retrieve your
are
mask.
set.
All
Autopilot
electronic
is
devices,
set.
including mobile
Flight
phones,
director
must
will
be
come
switched
on.
off,
Auto
and
brake
all
will go to
headsets
max
must be
for
removed
takeoff.
whenever the engines are running
Flaps,
on the ground
first
during
notch.
takeoff, approach and landing.
And
Please
moving
ensure
elevator
your mobile
trim
phone and any devices
goes
that
to
can send or receive
1 up.
calls or text messages remain
and
off for the
flight
flight.
controls.
Any items with a flight
Full
safe
left,
mode should have this
full
feature
right,
enabled now.
Neutral,
Some electronic
full back,
devices can be
full
used
forward,
once we're
neutral,
airborne. Please check High Life magazine.
left
Take
rudder,
care
right
hand
rudder.
baggage isn't lying
Neutral.
yellow for
Flight
exits.
controls are
It must be
good.
put under the seat in front of you or in an overhead
Taxi
locker.
light will come on.
Place items in the locker carefully as they may
And we
fall
will
and
release the
injure
parking
someone.
brake.
As we prepare for takeoff, please make sure that your tray
And
table
taxi
is
down
put
to
away,
the
your seat
runway.
is upright, and your armrest is down. Please stow your individual video screen and
So
footstool.
we'll
if you
taxi
have
out
them.
here to
Finally, take a look at the safety card in the seat pocket.
Taxiway
If you
Papa.
have any questions, please
Take
ask
that
your
down
crew.
to
We hope you have a relaxed and enjoyable flight.
whatever we got down here, Zulu, and then Zulu over to Mike, and that will take us onto the end of the runway. It's not far. It's a short taxi today. That little pier there is all Fly UK for our Gatwick operations, at least for the smaller aircraft. We're going to want this one. As we come around, we will arm the speed brake. There, Frontier. Told you there'd be a Frontier here. And we will do our TO config check and get the crew ready in the back.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff.
Got Delta Airlines and an SAS. Not sure that Delta should be here. It's a little bit small. SAS is good. And the Frontiers are all over the place. Alright, so this is Alpha. We want Mike, which is the next one. That takes us right to the end of the runway. The other, further down there, it would take us actually around. You can see it goes around to the other side of the airport. And it's a maintenance facility over there. It's not where we're going today. Alright. So, although missing off the pavement, there's a hold short here. So we are going to hold short. Alright, so flight instruments are checked, entered instruments are checked, takeoff data, V1 of 155, yeah, VR of 161, V2, or VR 161 V2 162. Nav equipment is checked. Landing lights are on. Nose light to take off. Strobe lights come on. POE is fine. De-ice not required. Transponder will go to advisory and action. TARA, PWS to auto, and weather radar will come on. A little bit of weather off to our right there. You can see the clouds. Not a big concern. We'll put that to 20 miles. And we are good to head out. No aircraft on approach. Start the clock. And out we go. And we're all set. We'll do a rolling takeoff today. Degrees nose down. Engines are spooled. And accelerate, throttles forward to flex. It's 80 knots. 100 knots, he's back. Control the aircraft. It's just dancing around. V1, rotate. 17 degrees. Positive rate, gear up. Keep her climbing. See, now, you saw, I don't know if you saw that with the altitude. As soon as we took off into the air, it set the right pressure. So if we hit that, there we go, 30, 51. All right, climb levers back. Nose coming down for acceleration. Was a little preoccupied there, should have been paying attention. The autopilot take it. 200 knots. Slots coming up. We're making our turn now. And we will be getting our climb to, our initial climb to 10,000 feet. see us. We're coming around here to pick up the point. Still climbing out. The spoilers are off or disarmed. Coming up above the clouds now. Should start to level out in a second. And we're heading off to Acorn. There we go. So we're now going into acceleration mode. Come off. We'll stay on. And start the late lunch service in the back. London's up over this way, and we're heading off towards the coast. So we're on our way up to 33,000 feet. Everything is looking good in the back. Everything is looking good up front. Hope you enjoy the flight, and we'll catch up with you in a few hours. Welcome back to the cockpit. We're passing through 12,000 feet. We're going to have to bring our speed down now, so we're going to bring out the speed brakes and the spoilers. Start slowing us down so we're down to 250 by 10,000. And 10,000 is our transition altitude. So our landing lights will come on as well. Seatbelt sign's already on in the back. As I mentioned before, we're going to cut out this go-around bit here. It's not going to really be required, so we're extending out this way a little bit, and then we're going to just cut right in for the approach. And as you can see, we are over the Black Sea now. That's Russia. Under the moon. And we are on our way in for the approach in on runway 06. So speed's coming down. It's 7,000 feet to go. So we need to be 2,000 feet when we get out to SS062. Start easing back a little bit. So, landing lights are on. Landing system is on. Fuel quantity is good, flaps are retracted, and gear is confirmed up and locked. So we're not actually going to pick up the glide slope until we're a lot closer. That's fine, we can bring this down to 1500 now. And we can turn to 090. Still got 30 miles to go, so ease off a little bit more. That'll help slow us down as well. Probably going to be a little bit low, but we are out over the water, so it shouldn't be too bad. We're pretty much going to be landing into the moon there. The airport is at the water. I think runway elevation is about 37 feet, or the airport elevation anyway, 39 feet. Start heading directly there, so we're going to turn to 065. And that's our target. is Sochi, right in here. So, yep, landing directly into the moon. I'm going to go to 07, just so we're more on track for that point. Ease our descent a little bit more. So ideally, we'll be 3,700 when we get there, but that's fine. $3,700 there, 3,000 there, 2,000 here, and then in for the ILS, which should hopefully be appearing soon. We will see. Slow that descent down a little bit more. A little bit of a wind. So 058 is the course inbound. Oh, there's the airport ahead. And there's the ILS coming up now. Localizers are coming in, so we're going to go down to 210. Radios are set. Speed is established. Seatbelt signs confirmed on. Landing lights are on. Taxi light is on. Ground spoilers are armed. Auto brake set to low. Speed is decreasing. Approach mode is active. 130 will be our target.
2,500.
And we are on the approach. Glide slope is now registering. So we're going to go to 2,400. And we'll just hold here for the localizer. Speed's down. Okay, first notch of flaps. Are in. 17 miles out. At 15 we will go down to 180 knots. Let's get the crew seated.
Cabin crew seats for landing, please.
over to landing systems. Put terrain mode on over here just so we can see as we get close in case we have to go around. Winds are calmish. We're not getting bounced around. Slight left-hand crosswind. 13 miles, coming back to a 180. Flaps 2, speed checked. Ten miles out, we will slow to our approach speed of 137. Speed coming down to 137. Speed 137, gear is down, flaps are down. Braking brake is verified off. De-icing is not required. Landing gear checked or down. Autopilot as required. Go around altitude is set. Glide slope is captured. Auto thrust is enabled. Landing memo no blue. Landing speed is set. We are good for the landing. Gorgeous evening here. And by evening, I have no idea what time it is. Oh, somebody just left. I have no idea what time it is, but it looks pretty late. We've been in the darkness for a while. So I'm assuming it's late evening into the night. And we will be exiting to our left upon arrival. Check the altimeter. It's 1014. landing.
500. 400. 300. 200. 100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
A little bit of a flare.
5.
And we are down. And reversers are on. It's 100 knots. 80 knots. 60 knots. Reversers are off. And auto brake is off. Come on. Said auto brake was off. There we go. Here we're at Taxiway Gulf. Let's get her fully around. We'll stop here for a second. So spoilers are disarmed, flaps are retracted, engine selector mode is normal, landing lights will come off, strobe lights will come off, taxi light is set to taxi, anti-ice is off, we'll get the APU up and going, wheel temperature is green, transponder to standby, PWS will come off, weather radar will come off, and we are ready to taxi. I'll start the APU and we'll taxi over to our gate. We do not have gates assigned here. But we'll just find one that's free. Unless we see a crew waiting to bring us in. I think we'll go over here by this guy over here. I think he's a PIA. That will be the next one. No, it's Frontier. Not sure. Taxi light will come off so we don't blind anybody. Not that there's anyone here guiding us in. right about there will do nicely. So parking breaker is set. Thrust levers are at idle. Ground contact is established. Ground operations. Jetway, please. External power is connected. Engine masters are off. Parking brakes are confirmed. Nav lights will stay on. Anti-ice comes off. Passenger signs are off. Doors are open. Flight director and landing systems will come off. APU bleed not required, so the APU will come off. Fuel pumps will go off. Beacon off. ECAM status normal. Gears will stay on. Avionics are good. No smoking is good. APU is already off. And batteries as required. Well, we are here in Sochi, Russia. Hope you enjoyed the flight. We will see you next time. Bye for now.